A Saudi Arabia-led military coalition and its local allies launched a long-anticipated offensive on the Yemeni port city of Hodeida early Wednesday, opening a new front in the country's intractable civil conflict and raising fears for millions of civilians. The offensive, which was announced by Yemen's government, is aimed at dislodging an Iranian-allied rebel group known as the Houthis that controls Hodeida on Yemen's Red Sea coast. The port is the main entry point for food and humanitarian aid supplies that millions rely on in Houthi-controlled areas. The government and its Persian Gulf allies argue that defeating the Houthis in the city would force them to the negotiating table more than 3 years after they took over much of Yemen's north, setting off a civil war and a devastating humanitarian crisis in the Arab world's poorest country. Aid agencies have warned that the Hodeida offensive would almost certainly deepen the crisis, threatening nearly 500,000 civilians who live in the city while cutting off critical aid at a time when a third of Yemen's citizens are on the brink of famine. The United Nations had led an intensive diplomatic push to avert the offensive, which the Saudi-led coalition, and especially the United Arab Emirates, had long been determined to pursue. Yemeni security officials quoted by the Associated Press said that 2,000 troops had crossed the Red Sea from a UE naval base in Eritrea, with plans to seize the port at Hodeida. A separate Yemeni UE force was advancing on the city from the south, near the city's airports, the officials said. The Trump administration, which provides military support to the coalition, had asked the Emirates to hold off on beginning an operation until after United Nations envoy Martin Griffiths presented a new plan for jump-starting peace talks.